Configuring a test for the Titan CPU begins the TCS Welcome screen. Begin by selecting the CPU device type. TCS creates a default test name based on the selected device and the current date. To change the name, click inside the test name field and enter a new name. All data taken during this session will be exported using this name. Now click Create. TCS will configure itself for a CPU, displaying the test name in the title bar and opening into the configuration window. Titan CPUs are connected to local area networks, so they are identified in TCS by their IP address. Connected devices will appear in the Select Ports list. If your connected device does not appear here, recheck the connections and then click Find CPUs to rescan. You also have the option of manually entering an IP address by clicking on Add IP and typing the address. To remove an address from the list, click Remove IP. To connect to the selected CPU, click Connect or use function key F1. TCS will query the CPU and display its information in the upper device information pane, along with information about the input device connected to the first CPU port in the lower device information pane. All connected input devices appear in the pod list on the left. Clicking on any device in the pod list displays the information about that device. The information and settings presented allow you to configure individual devices according to the specific test requirements. You'll notice that the one selection not available here is device speed. This is because the CPU will set a common speed for all connected devices. Pods can be added or removed from the CPU as needed, but new devices are not automatically detected in TCS. To refresh the device list, click on the Requery Devices button. This action commands the CPU to requery all ports and detect new configurations. Just below the Requery Devices button is a checkbox labeled Get Full Device Info at Connection Time. This checkbox is disabled by default. When this box is checked, TCS acquires the full system device information from the CPU and all connected devices at connection time. For a large channel count system, this activity can take several minutes, which would be undesirable if repeated testing includes many connect and disconnect cycles. For this reason, the default state of the box is unchecked. Moving to the top left of the window, the Name field allows you to enter a unique name for the CPU. This name is stored when you save the test configuration. To the right of the Name field, clicking on the Metadata button presents a window that allows you to enter additional information about the current test, including inventory and project identifiers, testing participants, and other related information and notes. Each field can accommodate up to 128 characters of plain text. The Metadata window includes a Device Configuration button. Clicking on the Device Configuration button will display the full system information if the Get Full Device Information checkbox was enabled at connection time. Information on all of the connected devices is listed here, including circuit board serial numbers, jumper settings, calibrations, and much more. For archival purposes, this information can be saved by clicking on the Save button. Moving to the middle of the screen, the Speed pane is where you select the mode, high or low speed, the scan rate, and the filter frequency for the test. These settings will be applied to all connected devices. Note that not all of the available scan rate selections are supported by the CPU. You should consult your CPU user manual for the appropriate settings. Moving to the right, the CPU settings pane allows you to enable specific CPU power-up functions, such as auto start and auto record, as well as a special monitor mode. When the auto start function is enabled, the CPU commands all connected devices to begin scanning as soon as power is applied. When the auto record function is enabled, the CPU will begin recording a data set as soon as power is applied. When the monitor mode function is enabled, the CPU will not query devices nor send any commands. It will simply load the configuration it used for the previous run and assume it is connecting to the same devices already running. Once any of these functions are enabled, they remain enabled until a new test is configured and run with the settings disabled. Moving to the bottom of the screen, the 7 active function keys offer an alternative selection method for some common functions. We've already mentioned function key F1, which connects or disconnects the CPU to TCS. Function key F2 allows you to get connection help. Pressing F2 displays the connectivity section of the TCS user manual, which can help you to sort out any connection issues. Function key F3, Get Info, refreshes the device information display by requerying the CPU and all connected devices. If the Get Full Device Information checkbox was checked, information on the full system will be obtained and can be viewed in the metadata window. Function keys F5 and F6 allow you to add or remove pods. These function keys allow you to create CPU test configurations for multiple pods without being physically connected to the hardware. Function key F10 invokes the manual command window, which allows you to issue manual commands to the connected device. Finally, function key F11 invokes the in-vehicle display, which permits keyboard-based control of TCS using just the function and arrow keys. It provides alternative control of commands and navigation in situations where using a mouse or trackpad would be impractical. This concludes the tutorial. Now that you're familiar with the CPU configuration screen, you're ready to continue with the sensors video.